Hey you guys, it's your girl AJ, the Glamour Witch, and I'm back for another video. So it is officially Aquarius season. My birthday is actually in a couple of days, so I'm super excited about that. Well, I shouldn't say super excited about it. I'm not super excited about it this year, but that's another conversation for another day. Today I'm going to teach you how to transmute the competitive energy of a masculine individual or a man into prosperity for you. Now, you can do this with anybody. It doesn't have to be a man, but this is prompted by a little post that I made a couple of weeks ago. Instead of being annoyed by the fact that a lot of men are actually in competition with women, which is sad to say, but true, why don't you just transmute it into money and make them more mad? Right? And let it keep feeding itself. So a couple people commented and said, please give me the tutorial. Please teach me how to do this. So I am just going to teach you a basic transmutation ritual that I use all the time, but you can also use it for money. Now, I'm going to share with you some spell oils and some specific things that I would write and do for this type of working, but it really is something that you can customize for yourself. Now, you're going to see me in this video apply a bunch of other things because I don't really have any men that are specifically in competition with me right now, because if that was the case, if I felt that way, they'd be out on the fucking street. Kick to the curb. I don't really need that, but I always just find that it's good to do a transmutation spell every once in a while to just catch and harness any nasty energy that is maybe lingering in the shadows, So you're gonna see me incorporate different elements, right? And so you don't have to just do this to transmute it into money. You can transmute this into success, good health, glamour, magic, beauty, whatever the case may be, whatever you want. And you're gonna see me have multifaceted intentions here for what I want it to be transmuted into, because I'm pulling on different energies, right? Like if I was just transmuting one energy, I would usually tether it to one other intention. But since I'm calling on a couple of different energies to be transmuted, I've also assigned them with a couple of positive outcomes that I want to see as well. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that. And if you're interested in learning more, just keep watching. A transmutation spell to transmute competitive energy from someone around you, specifically from masculine energy, can be a really good way of building your success and your good fortune. If you are in a male-dominated field, or you're in a space where a lot of masculine energy is creating disharmony for you and maybe hindering your ability to be successful, you can actually use and work with that energy to play out in your favor. Now, again, like I said, I'm going to be doing this ritual a little bit differently because for me, it's going to be something different, and I'm doing the ritual for myself in this video, but I am going to show you and incorporate elements that will allow you to tap in specifically to masculine energy through certain types of herbs and intentions. And then of course you can always write your petition to be a certain way. Now, I think the most important thing to remember in this type of working is that when we're talking about transmutation of energy, we're not trying to get rid of it. Any negative impact that it would typically have doesn't actually have any effect on us, right? It actually turns on its head into something beneficial for our own personal gain. Now, I do the same thing with people's negative comments. When people try to go back and forth with me on the internet in my comment section, I always, as soon as I start seeing they're gearing up to do something, I always say, okay, just before you continue, because I know you want to school me. I know you want to eat me out so bad, sis. Sometimes, most of the time it's men. I'm like, I just wanted to ask you, are you consenting to giving me your energy? Because I'm going to harness this little dumbass energy that you have for my magical gain. So if you are consenting to that, continue. I would love to hear what other things you have to say. And that usually pretty much shuts them up. And sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes they're like, whatever, I don't care. I'm not afraid of witches. But then I actually just do it. I just go ahead and do it because one, they have literally consented. I've asked permission, and by them continuing to engage with me, they've given me their energy, and so I don't really feel any type of way about it. Not that I would otherwise, but you know what I mean? I gave them an option, and they decided to continue to play the game. So you can take pretty much any negative energy and harness it. The important thing to remember is you're not necessarily trying to get rid of it, right? And so your intention should not be to blow it away, to banish it, to, you know, have it not be around. Because if there isn't anything there, then you can't transmute it, okay? So let it be what it is, right? And some people in certain paths will even elicit certain responses. You can, you know, you'll see that on the internet, rage baiting and all types of stuff, trolling, and people will actually do things to trigger anger and frustration to elevate their magic, to give themselves success and, you know, whatever. And the best way to not, you know, aid them is basically to just not pay attention to them or not feed into it, right? And so this is one of those things where you don't necessarily want the other person, you never want the person to know that you're if you're gonna be rage baiting, which, come on guys, don't do that. But whatever, everybody has their reasons. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you there are easier ways. There are much easier ways. But you're not focusing on trying to get rid of it. You want it to stay where it's at, right? I think maybe the most important thing, if you're gonna be focusing on like the negative energy as a whole, is like, where is it coming from? If you know it's coming from a specific person, then target that person. Don't just say a blanket intention, because that could just shoot out anywhere, unless you don't really know and you just know that there's some nasty energy around you and you just want to capture it, right? Then you can say anything that is around me or directed at me, you know, you can blanket it in that way. But if you know there is a specific person that has some negative, nasty energy towards you, go ahead and write their name specifically in the ritual for transmuting their energy towards you, right? And if you can figure out even more through divination, what is the cause? What is driving them to do that? Then you can almost kind of suspend them in that energy for just long enough for you to get whatever it is that you want, right? If they're just jealous of you because they don't like you because of whatever, it could be something so silly like they think they think you think you're better than them, which is always just such a telling thing, right? Actually, I don't think I'm better than you. You think I'm better than you. Or maybe they just don't like that you know, came into the job and you know, hit it off right away with your bosses, and it took them a couple of years to do that, right? And they've really been working very hard to have their relationship, and it seemed like you didn't, which again, isn't your problem, but you can use that energy to your advantage. So you don't need to try to convince them of anything. Let them be who they are. But if you feel like this person might try to set me up, do this and this, right? You can incorporate something in the ritual, which again, you don't necessarily want them not to do it. You just want it to work out in your favor. So the best thing for you to do in a situation like that is to basically put something in there that speaks about anytime this person tries to destroy me, defame me, you know, plot and scheme against me, it always ends up turning out into my favor, benefiting me and revealing their true colors, right? So what it does is you still get to harness that energy, but it always falls back on them, right? So the more aggressive they become towards you, the more aggressive their personal downfall is, right? Falling on their own sword in a lot of ways. There's a little bit of a satisfying, kind of baneful element of this working, and it doesn't have to be that way all the time, but I find that when it comes to men, that's more enjoyable for me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That makes it more enjoyable, right? Like if you're going out of your way to be in competition with me and we don't even have the same type of opportunities afforded to us. We live in a patriarchal society. This whole situation was set up by y'all, and you're also just mad at me for taking this system that you guys created and benefiting off of it to survive and live here as a woman, and then you're gonna be in competition with me, but then you don't want to do anything to change the system so that you could also be, you know, in your highest and greatest good. Then yeah, I'm on your ass. Like, I'm on your fucking ass, dumbass. Don't feel bad, honestly. Like, I think that it's a very beautiful form of protest that really doesn't harm anyone, not truly, and ultimately leaves you in a better position than you once were. You can do this on your boyfriend, your partner, your cousin, your dad, your granddaddy, your boss, any of your co-workers, any man in your life, and also any person. But specifically, this is about transmuting the negative energy of men, the toxicity of masculine energy. So that's why I'm kind of harping on that, because everybody wants that specific part of it. But this is something that you can use as a blanket spell for any person, anything, regardless of gender or gender identity. You can really use this transmutation spell for anyone. So if you are interested, let's jump right in. All right, so we are gonna get started. As you can see, I have quite a bit of herbs here, and we're gonna focus first on cleansing, but also we're gonna focus on our petition paper. So I have my figure candle. This is a female figure candle to represent me, and it's white, but you can also use green, you can also use pink. Those are the colors I would use for this particular type of transmutation spell, but it depends. If you're using this to transmute negative energy from male energy or whatever the case may be, or from any negative energy, because this working that I'm doing is not only going to be transmuting the weird energy from men, but specifically anyone who may have negative energy towards me, then you might want to change your color depending on what it is that you're asking it to be transmuted into, right? So if you're doing this to transmute it into more romance for yourself, more beauty, more self-love, more self-confidence, more positive attention, then pink, I think, could be a good color, especially if it has to do with love or heart-centered energy or amplified beauty. White is really good because it can be all-purpose, and because I'm going to be pulling in a lot of different energies, and I'm going to be setting this up to be something that really surrounds me with a lot of really positive energies. White is just a really good color for me. But if it's only for money, only for to attract money and financial success, then I would stick to green, because obviously green is usually used for money and prosperity. And then I have two candles here. I have two black candles and two pink candles. Why do I have these two colors? The black is going to pull at the negative energy. It's going to absorb it. I'm using these two to draw in the negative energy that's around me, right? So they're going to be here on the sides. And the pink colors are specifically going to amplify my glamour magic. So I'm going to be using this to amplify my victory and success in my glamour magic, in my beauty, in my self-love, but to bring in more positive energy towards me. So we're going to cleanse our candles. After drying, we're going to write our petition paper. Now, you're going to see me write kind of a little bit of a lengthy one, but it's to the point, right? It covers my bases for what I want, but you're going to know specifically what you want, okay? And the petition is going to be very simple. The first thing I'm going to write is my first name and my date of birth, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to write this particular petition. So I've already written it on another page so you guys can see. And what it says is, all jealousy, malice, envy, competitive energy, and desire, okay, directed at me, especially from men, is transmuted into money, success, and amplified beauty. Now, it could be simpler for you, like your intention might be different. I've already anointed this one. It could be different, okay? Yours could be that you want to turn all competitive energy from your workspace into amplified, all the competitive energy from my male co-workers in my workspace is transmuted into success and more prosperity, towards me, right? It could be all jealousy, all envy, and all competitive energy directed towards me from, and then you can write the specific person that is exhibiting this behavior. This could be your boyfriend, this could be your brother-in-law, this could be your dad, this could be any male energy, right? And it doesn't have to be a man, it could just be any person, right? You could write their name directly if you know that they are directly the ones that are attacking you, right? Whatever that may be, right? Whatever their name is transmuted into, and then whatever it is that you want: money, success, good fortune, good health, more self-confidence, right? Amplified beauty, job promotions, positive attention, whatever it is that you want, right? It should be to the point, right? It shouldn't be this elaborate thing, whatever. This may seem long to you, but it's narrowing down what the energy is that we are trying to transmute, where it's coming from, and then what it's going to be transmuted into. That's the only thing that you need to be worried about. Everything else it's too much, and it should be something that you could fit on a petition this size. So if you're writing a paragraph essay, you need to just check it, right? Jealousy, malice, envy are typically all you need. Just keep it short and sweet. All right, so now we are going to anoint our petition, the four corners in the center of our petition, with a spell oil. I'm going to be using the Transmute into Money spell oil from Moonlight and Sage. This is her transmutation oil. I love this because it's specifically for transmuting negative energy and evil eye into money. I'm also going to use my Transmute and Glow spell oil that I made in a group ceremony last year. And this is specifically for transmuting negative energy and evil eye into amplified beauty and success. And I'm also going to use a drop of my blood spell ink. Now obviously we're on YouTube right now, so I can't really tell you guys how to make this, but you guys could maybe put it two and two together. It's not necessary, but I like to use it because it's a really strong tag lock, and it's a combination of you know what, and red wine, essential oils, dragon's blood, resin, and a couple of other ingredients, and it has been charged and programmed. I probably will never show the recipe on this platform just because I don't want to get my shit taken down, but I'm going to anoint the four corners and the center. I've already anointed it with the transmutation oils. I'm going to anoint it now with my spell ink. Important now is for you to write and scry on your candles what you want each one of them to do. I've already scried on all of my candles, the black ones. I just specifically wrote transmuting negative energy into money, into positive energy, whatever the case may be. And then the pink ones are for my amplified beauty, so I made sure to be specific with them. And then you can also scribe onto from the feet up on your figure candle what it is that you want to feel, your statement of intent, right? I would focus more on yourself, not transmutation or anything like that, but just what you want to personally feel from this experience. And for me, I just wanted to feel this inner glow, right? So I glow, I shine, I am radiant, I am empowered, whatever you want that to be. I would write that and scribe that onto your candle. You can also do that on the back as well. Yeah, you just decide what you want it to say. Now I'm going to anoint my center candle with my Jezebel oil. I have a full tutorial on how I make my Jezebel oil, but that is in my Baddie Bruja membership, which you can find on my website, theglamourwitch.com. And I'm just going to rub and anoint this. Okay. Now, a lot of times you would actually carve into the bottom of this and put a petition paper in, or you'd put your hair, your nails, any of your DNA into that. But because this one is so thin, it's not really deep enough for me to really put something in there. And I don't really need to do that with this one. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm going to add a little bit more and you're just going to, as you're rubbing in your oils, as you are really making sure that it's fully covered, you want to get the feet, you want to get the heart space, the head area, the back. You know, you really want to make sure you rub it in and that you get this all over. You are going to be saying your prayers, your incantations. All of that is going to be spent in this time. So although I'm not going to walk you through what I'm personally saying for my ritual, this would be the time where you're really speaking and pushing the energy into the candle and working that intention in here and really saying what it is that you want, right? Really imagine this candle being a part of you, an extension of you, and you're working your magic, you're working your energy, you're working your prayers into the candle as you're rubbing the oil and anointing it. I'm going to take my Transmute into Money oil from Moonlight and Sage, give it a good shake, onto my black candles. Again, these ones are specifically for money, but yours could be different. And I'm really focusing on these candles being the drawing energy. Those that really draw in that nasty, dark, toxic, low vibrational energy. I'm really focusing that energy into these black candles that it draws it in and transmutes it immediately. And then I'm anointing my pink candles with a beauty spell oil. I'm going to use my Glamour Magic oil from theglamourwitch.com. You could also use a transmutation oil that is for beauty, turning it into something that is transmuted into something beautiful. You can use any type of a beauty spell oil. I have a really great recipe in my book, Baddie Bruja Secrets, that you can use and bless it to be specifically for you. But I have a really good recipe there that you can craft if you like. I also have a full moon glow beauty spell oil, and that is on my Baddie Bruja membership as well. And this would also be a really good oil to use for these candles as well, to almost give you that mysterious luminous glow that the full moon has, right? Okay, so let us make a little blend. I am going to just make a blend that coincides with the energy that I want, and this is something that I'm going to sprinkle on my candles and around it. But you don't have to blend this together. You can kind of sprinkle this around your plate, around the actual candle itself. But because I want this to be on my candles, I'm going to make a little blend, and then you'll see what I'm going to do with it next. First things first, I'm going to use some stinkerfoil, and this is 5-finger grass. And this puts money in your hand, wallet, bank account, business, whatever the case may be. And because we're doing this to transmute it into prosperity, we want something in there that brings in that money. I'm going to add some calamus. Okay, calamus is great for domination, but specifically it's good for domination of masculine energy. So I would really prefer using this if you wanted to put yourself in a position of being dominant. I would also use angelica root for women. Calamus I like to use for men specifically. You could also use licorice root. Licorice root I feel like is a good in-between space. So if you're dealing with men and women, licorice root is just like a really good domination herb. And this is really great. Again, the real reason why we made this video, why I'm making this video, is for you to be able to transmute the energy, the competitive energy of men who are in competition with you. So calamus is the way that I would go with this, okay? I'm going to add in some calendula. Calendula is going to bring a little bit of success, and amplified success to this working, and that's kind of like what I want. And obviously for you, you do what you feel you want. But for me, it's important for me to have some amplified joy, right? I don't want to just have all these things come. I want to feel good when they come. So I want them to come to me in a way that is pleasurable and satisfying and joyous to my personal energy. Now, these next couple are optional, and you can decide what you want to keep and what you want to leave out. I'm going to be focusing on things that kind of amplify like beauty and attraction. So think glamour magic, right? I'm going to add in some faux tea root. Faux tea root is really, really great for vitality, for beauty, for glamour magic spells. And this is kind of a little bit of a little Glamour Magic secret. So if you haven't explored faux tea root, I talk about it and I use it a lot in a lot of my workings. And I share a lot about this in my Baddie Bruja membership. So if you want more details about faux tea root, I actually have an entire like breakdown on the herb and how to incorporate the herb in different ways. Okay, I'm gonna add some jasmine. Jasmine is great for seduction, attraction. And I like jasmine too because it has a little bit of like a mysterious and like spiritual energy to it, because often jasmine was burned to induce visions. So I kind of like it as like a witchy practitioner or a glamour witch, because it's like you get that benefit in twofold, right? You get to heightening in your intuitive wisdom, but also you get a heightening in your sensuality and your sexuality. So we're going to bless this for a little boost in our sensual energy. I'm going to add in a little bit of catnip. Catnip is great for lifting the spirit, for bringing in a little sense of euphoria and happiness. I'm also going to add in some orris root. Orris root is also known as Queen Elizabeth root. And I really like Queen Elizabeth root for empowerment and confidence, specifically for women. But I don't see why you couldn't use this if you were a man as well. I would say if you're a man and you want that same level of empowerment, I would do something like master root. That kind of gives me more of a masculine energy. Calamus root, High John the Conqueror is a really good one as well. And so those are ones that I would use if I was a dude doing this for the opposite work or for whatever the case may be, or just any type of transmutation. But we're going to bless and activate this orris root to bring us a sense of empowerment in our feminine energy, empowerment in our situation, confidence in our situation, to really step into our sovereignty and wield that with confidence. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little blending up. And again, if I wasn't doing this for a video, I wouldn't stop my prayers. I keep pushing it in, and I would just kind of continue to work in all of those intentions, all of those prayers together. All right, so I've ground up enough, as much as I'd like, and I'm going to do one final ingredient. And I'm not going to grind it up. I'm just going to kind of mix it in. And that is gold magnetic sand. This will draw in and attract to me money, prosperity, good fortune. So I want to be a magnet. And also you can program any type of magnetic sand to just draw out that negative energy too. Like if you wanted to, like if people have been incognito or whatever the case may be, and you want to amplify this working, you can actually also program the, I'm not saying that I would recommend this, but you could do this if you don't really feel like there's a whole lot of negative energy around you, or do you feel like people are incognito about it, or you feel like there's people around you who are not really being forthcoming. You can use the gold magnetic sand to draw their negative energy out so that you can harness it. That's an option, but I personally would not do that. Like I don't necessarily want to deal with that. So if it's already there, I'm just going to use it, right? But this could actually pull in a little bit more. So regardless, it could pull it a little bit more out of people anyways. But because you've placed all these energies in here, it's still going to benefit you ultimately at the end of the day. And we're just going to mix it together so it's in here with the rest of the gang. So now we have our herbal blend, and we are going to sprinkle this on our candles. All right, so as you can see, we have our candles here. I'm going to sprinkle them easy peasy. And I'm going to get the back part here. And then whatever is left, I'm just going to put it here. And we're just going to roll our candles in it to pick up what's left. And this is what I call a little bit of lazy magic, because you know there's no reason to get so precious with it. It's all just meant to go on the candles, and you see that was super easy. I can move this to the side and again place my petition paper back in the center and place my main candle in the center as well, okay? And so I'm gonna take the remaining bits and I'm going to disperse them. The remaining bits of the herbs, I'm gonna disperse them after I've put my candles on the plate. Okay, so our candles are on the plate. I'm gonna take the rest of my herbs and I'm going to sprinkle it around the plate. And again, you aren't going to be making a video when you do this, so you'll be saying your prayers. Now, we're not done yet, I know. I'm going to place another barrier around the center candle, and this is going to be our corn silk. Now, if you are a Betty Brew member, then you've seen me use corn silk in my Jezebel spell, and my Jezebel spell, which is such a successful spell, and every time I do that spell, it's crazy. I try not to do it too often because sometimes it can have too, like, I make products, so when there's a surge in people wanting to buy products, and that means obviously more time making products and not a lot of time actually spending the money. So I'm always very careful about using corn silk, but corn silk is really great for prosperity, abundance. And so I like to lay this at my feet and around the base of the candle. Now, when you use corn silk, you need to be very, very careful because it easily can catch on fire. Very, very easily. So when you're, this is just basic fire safety, but when you're placing this around your candle, give it a little bit of space because the candle wax is gonna, absorb some of this and it's gonna, pull around, right? But if it's, for whatever reason, does catch the flame, the whole thing of corn silk is going up in flames. I'm just telling you right now, be prepared for this. When you do this working, particularly try to do it during a time where you could watch your candle and see how it burns so that you don't have to worry about there being any fire hazards. But because this is going to be close by me, I'm going to be watching this all the way till the end and, monitoring this. I'm not too concerned about the corn silk. That's also another reason why I don't use corn silk that much, because it does require your full attention. Okay? All right. So we're going to bless and activate the corn silk. I am also going to add in some of my Glamour Magic salt. This is from my website, theglamourwitch.com. And Glamour Magic salt is great for amplifying beauty, for attraction, for allure. And I'm just going to, again, because I'm doing this to amplify those qualities within me, to transmute all that negativity and to bring that energy in, I'm just going to trail around the base of the candle and on the outside ring in front of the corn silk with my Glamour Magic salt. Now you can get this Glamour Magic salt, a full size of this, in my Glamour Magic spell kit. This included with a bunch of other great Glamour Magic products that I have on my website. So I would check that out. And if you're watching this in time, then you're probably watching this before my birthday, which means you'll be able to take advantage of my sale that is happening right now this weekend from January 31st to February 2nd, where everything is 31% off. Plus, if you purchase my album Elixir and Smoke, you get an additional 10% off, which makes it 41% off. So if you're interested in that sale, go ahead and go to my website, theglamourwitch.com. Okay? So I'm just going to say a little prayer over my Glamour Magic salt. Even though it's been programmed, I'm just going to set my own personal intentions. So now we're going to light this up, and I'm going to continue to push magic into the work. I'm actually using my beauty shaker jar that I created and crafted in my Baddie Bruja membership, and I love this because it is another added magical aid and support that you can continue to work with, shaking it around the working, and you can do this with any type of shaker jar, for money, for success, for good luck. And then I also will continue with some smoke, and I like to also put my specifically my Glamour Magic page that has my birthday magic on it, and set it up in front of my candles. I have some flowers here to kind of set the mood, and I just continue to be in communion with my magic. All right, witches, that's it. So like I said in the video, it's really important for you to remember that at the end of all of this, you need to just let things play out the way they're gonna play out, right? Don't go out of your way. You know, it doesn't mean don't protect yourself. Don't walk into dangerous situations. It doesn't mean like welcome dangerous situations or try to set yourself up in those types of vibrations. But it does mean like let things be. And that's a big part of magic that I think a lot of people miss, is that you kind of have to get out of the way of the spell. And that can be really hard when you want to see results, or when you feel like you need something from the magic and you need it to happen quickly. But this kind of work, specifically transmutation work, the more you let it go and just pretend almost like you didn't even do it, like, or forget it, like I would highly suggest maybe doing some glamour magic work or some self-confidence work, or just like something else that's fun and exciting. Sometimes I like to just like do little spells here and there, just because like I remember one time I did this really massive spell to kick off the creation of one of my albums, and I knew that if I kept thinking about it, meditating on it and focusing on it and obsessing about it, that it was not going to come to fruition the way that I wanted to, or probably not within the timing. So then I started doing these other little small mini spells. Like I was making potions for joy, or things to make me laugh, or I'd make at the time we were in lockdown, so I was making oils for, you know, the protesters, and so I could protect some of my friends, and do candle workings for some of my friends who were out in the protests, so they could be safe. And you know, I was crafting rituals and spells so that I could actually project to some of my friends who, you know, weren't really coming outside of their apartments, and I was really worried about them. So I took the opportunity to kind of pivot my attention to something completely different that didn't have anything to do with my project. Although I continued to like make my music and stuff like that, I just kind of forgot about it, and I put so many other things in front of it, so I didn't have the time to think about, oh, that spell that I did last week or yesterday. Even like I just started doing things that were kind of not major spells, right? Like things that I didn't really need, but that were just interesting to me. Like I don't really need a spell to induce laughter, but I just thought it was interesting to see if I could make something that would make me laugh. So my point in saying this is, let the magic do what it's gonna do, and just know that if in fact those people's negative energy is, they're setting it up and it has been set up, that the magic is catching it and harnessing it and transmuting it, right? And it's going to be sent to you. Your job now is, when that energy comes to you, is to wield it, right? So when the money starts coming in, use it properly, right? When you start feeling that boost in your confidence and your beauty, really own it, soak it up, bask in it, right? Have gratitude. The way that you like confirm and sign and co-sign the magic is by, when it comes, you're excited about it, you indulge in it and you accept it and receive it as something that you deserve, right? And so that's your only job after this, is to get out of the way, find something else to do, and then when it comes, be fucking excited about it, okay? I love you guys so much, and comment down below what kind of rituals that you'd like to see next on this channel, since I'm gonna be doing a lot more videos here on YouTube, since we don't really know what's happening other places. Yeah, anyways, make sure that you are subscribed, like this video so more people can see it, and I'll see you in my next one. Be blessed.
Come and cast a spell with me. Yeah. Come and cast a spell with me. Come and cast a spell with me. Oh, take you on a roller coaster ride. Do you wanna roll with me? Pull out the candles.